Hi, my name is Sue Davis, and I work at the New Brunswick Community College in St. John, New Brunswick. I can't be with you in person. The best that we can do is send off a video. So what I'm going to be doing is doing a Pacha presentation, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But what that means is that I have a PowerPoint set up with 20 slides. And the slides are going to move automatically every 20 seconds, so I need to move pretty quickly along with it. So this presentation will be 6 minutes and 40 seconds, no more and no less. So the topic is, would Malcolm Knowles use Twitter to build his personal learning network? So in this presentation I'm going to be talking about Malcolm Knowles, Twitter, personal networks, and a little bit on my own experience. Those who know me well know that I am a Twitterholic. So the way that I'm fitting all of this in is to introduce Malcolm Knowles into the picture. And Malcolm Knowles, for those of you who have taken adult education courses, he is sort of the grandfather in terms of looking at andragogy and pedagogy. He worked at the Y and observed adults learning informally and looked and said, we learn differently from children, okay? That the way that we teach children and the way that children learn is altogether different from the ways that adults learn. And he made 4 basic assumptions about the ways that adults learn. And the first assumption that he looked at is that when adults are learning, the first question that they ask is, why? Why do I need to know this? Why do I need to do this? And if we can't answer that question, they're going to very quickly get disinterested. The second assumption is that adults have a lot of life experience. And a lot of our learning, if we can link what we're learning to our life experience, then that's going to make a lot more sense. So we have life experience, we have knowledge, and that should be looked at. Our students don't come to us as empty vessels. The third assumption is that adults learn better when there's a problem to solve. So if they can use what they're learning in some way to solve a problem, whether it's in their learning or in their everyday life, they're going to tackle that learning with a lot more enthusiasm and a lot more energy. The fourth assumption is that adults learn best when the learning can be put to some type of immediate value. So if they can learn something and use it right away, then that learning is going to take a much better hold. So I'm going to link this up to Twitter and some of my own experience. And Twitter, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, is microblogging, meaning that you can send a message out to the world that's 140 characters. That's not very much, but you'd be surprised at the amount of information you can send in a URL. So the reason that I chose to use Twitter is basically to build up my own personal learning network. I have been able to make contact with educators around the world. I get more information sometimes than I can handle, and I share it with my friends. This is my Twitter page. This shot is a little bit old, but I'm around 800 people that are following me and that I am following as well. On here you can see that I've got a little picture of myself there. If you want to follow me, I'm nbccSue, and I'd welcome you to follow. In my experience, at first when I started using Twitter, I was lost. I really thought, how am I going to use this? What is it used for? But as I got going along and I decided that my focus was going to be on educators rather than Oprah, then I found that I was getting some really good information. So in terms of problem solving, as Noel said, an immediate value, what I find is that by using Twitter, I'm using it as a professional development tool for myself as well as for my colleagues. So I've been learning about Delicious, the Educators PLN. I have a wonderful personal learning network of over 800 people that I can connect with using technology. And so if I'm stuck, or I'm looking for a resource, or I'm looking for information on some new technology that these millennials are using, I can put out a tweet and say, what is such and such, and I'm likely to get back a response to that. In this slide, I've just shown some of the people that I'm in contact with using Twitter, and I have people here saying that they use Twitter to build their own personal learning networks. I have people from New Zealand, from Kentucky, New York, the States, Canada. And one of the ways that I use Twitter is that I get ideas and resources, and once a week I send out something called Friday's Tips and Sites to all of my colleagues at NBCC, plus some of my dear friends at UNBSJ and some other areas. I'm just going to let you read this one. Hopefully you can see it. So going back to my first statement, would Malcolm Knowles use Twitter to build his personal learning network? I think that I can pretty fairly say that if Malcolm Knowles were looking down on me right now, he'd be saying, yay, NBCCSue. You are building up your informal learning network. If you want to learn more about Twitter yourself, Google a Twitter guidebook or a Twitter guide, and I'm sure that you're going to find the resources that you need to get started. This will be a great resource to find out about, like I say, all those wonderful tools that your millennial students are using, plus you can get help from colleagues. And again, please, if you get on Twitter, follow me, nbccSue. And if you saw this in Greece, please drop me a note as well, because I'd like to know how I looked on video, okay? Thanks a lot. Bye-bye from St. John, New Brunswick. Have a fabulous conference.